So I started my online business back in 2003. Now that is like dinosaur age in today's time. And my very first webpage, the very first domain name that I've acquired is called esuccessmastery.com. You wouldn't be able to see it anymore because I do not renew it. And the page is quite hilarious in the sense of the quality of how it looks like. Anyway, I do a screenshot of it and to show you how it looks like, right? So this is the first version, the very first page that was put out in 2003 called esuccessmastery.com. And it's actually just an opt-in page for me to build email lists. So where I'm running a newsletter talking about self-help, like personal improvement, all this kind of stuff, right? So you can see how awkward the page looks like when I first created in 2003. Now I don't really share this because it sounds embarrassing. Look at the headline. My gosh, what kind of headline is this? So I was like reading some ebooks about copywriting, and they give like a swipe file of headlines, and I just take it, and I just change the words, and then I have my headline. So anyway, this is how my webpage looks like. I do not know about webpage and so on. So my goal that time was just to make some money. I was this kid here. You take back to 2003, I would be just like 23 years old that time, right? I have my job and I was just trying, like, I need to make some money. I have my credit cards and all this kind of stuff, right? I wasn't thinking of like building an empire or to become like authority speaker, all this kind of stuff. No, I'm just thinking like, like just please help me to make some money. I've learned about all this internet marketing stuff. They say put out a web page, capture emails, capture database, and all this kind of stuff, right? So I signed up my first ClickBank account in 2002, right? And that time, I think ClickBank doesn't even accept Malaysians. We have to like appeal and all this kind of stuff. So I got my ClickBank account in 2002, and I didn't make money. I tried all sorts of stuff. I wouldn't say I've been scammed. I'm just being very naive, and I don't even know what is right, what is wrong, and so on. So I just like try everything, right? So to cut the story short, it took me like 8 months, like for me to make my first ClickBank sale, which means by 2003, I made my first sale. So it's like history. Um, Tony Robbins says this: most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a year and underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. Right? This is from Tony Robbins. So since 2003, within the next 12 years, let's bring that to 2015. Not this year, right? But 2015, because that's where I created Operation Zero Employees, which I'll share with you a little bit more from here. Since 2003, within the next 12 years, I've spoken in 11 countries as an authority of internet marketing in US, in UK, in China, in Hong Kong, in Indonesia, in Thailand, in India. Total of 11 countries in Australia and Singapore and so forth. I've authored 3 best-selling books during that time. Can't remember those years. I've trained thousands of students all around the world. I mean, just offline alone, I think I've trained more than 10,000 students who came from my seminars, workshop, and so on, more than 10,000. And of course, with the online, probably 50,000, 100,000. I wouldn't know how many people have actually purchased my course for the past 12 years until 2015. I've gotten a lot of testimonials that I completely lost count. If you've been through my program, you'll see every year I'll be showing like new testimonials because the testimonials just keep on coming in. I'm so blessed that many of my clients are happy and grateful with their results, and they come back and thank me, and then I will of course share and promote them because they deserve the credit and exposure because they did achieve success and take actions. And I became the ClickBank Platinum Partner for 7 years in a row, right? Since 2003. 7 years in a row, which means that now, what is ClickBank Platinum Partner? Well, in short, it means that I'm the 1% of ClickBank top performers, right? So ClickBank has, I do not know how many, maybe a million users or hundreds of thousands. I don't even know their numbers, but ClickBank generate $300 million per year, right? That's their revenue. I think it's $300 million. So we are the 1% of ClickBank. So they're just like, I think they're like, I don't know, maybe a few hundred of us, right? So we're the 1% that contributes the most revenue in ClickBank in that sense. And it literally transformed my life. I mean, it literally does. I'm like this little dude, like you see 2003. I was just trying to put out a web page, not knowing, not really knowing what I'm doing anyway, just go and bang the wall and try to find the answers. I mean, there's no gurus, there's no mentors, there's none of those, just going and try it. And I would say it literally transformed my life. Now, you must understand that why I say it transformed my life. For instance, the internet allows me to buy my weekend home, right? And don't get me wrong, I mean, there are many multimillionaires who have homes like this, nicer home, bigger house, and so on. But for a person like me, who who was just a greeting card salesperson for my first job. And when I'm 30 years old, I was able to buy my house for millions, for multi-millions, right? And this is something that I can give to my family. I mean, do you think that I need to stay in this house? I don't really need to. I'm a very, I would say, moderate person. Like, I don't buy sports car. I don't buy like Lamborghini, Ferrari. I mean, I do buy like a four-wheel drive, like a Cayenne last time, and I regretted buying that because there's so much maintenance and things like that. And like right now, I would just rather take Uber, or in Malaysia, you take Grab. I'd rather do that, right? But buying a home, a house is a home for my children to enjoy, right? So I say it transformed my life because for me, at the age of 30 years old, it's impossible for me to save up my money from a normal job to buy my house, right? And this is my weekend home. And the reason is this, is that I'm this dude who has the highest education with high school. I don't have a diploma, I don't have a degree, I don't have a master's. I never go to any college or university. My highest education is literally high school. My dad's a taxi driver, right? I would say my late father, because my father passed away not long ago. So my dad's it's a real uh blue collar worker. Like in the morning, he will eat his bread, like literally bread and butter, and then he will drive out, and then he will come back at night. So I don't really have so-called those kind of, I mean, parenting nowadays. You talk to your children and all this kind of stuff. I mean, I don't do any of that because we don't have much to talk about, and he's just like driving most of the time. But of course, I know in my heart that my father loves me a lot. He is just not a very expressive person. And of course, I love my father a lot, but I also don't really express to my dad in a sense. But the thing here is that I don't have any resource. Dude, my dad's a taxi driver. What kind of connections do you think I have? What kind of school do you think I went to? I'm not even fluent in English. Just rewind that back in 2003, right? You cannot imagine the level of English that I have. In fact, today, I'm not even fluent in English yet. I do not have any technical background or skill. I do not know how to put out web page. I do not know coding. The web page that you see, you know how I created that? I call up my friend. And I call up my friend and say, hey, dude, how do you use this Microsoft front page at that time to put up like a web page? So my friend literally teach me how to create a web page in that sense, right? I have zero technical background or skill. So a lot of people have this misconception that you got to be like like a technical expert in order for you to succeed with internet marketing or digital marketing. The answer is no. You need marketing skill. You need business skill to succeed, not technical skill. You gotta know a little bit of technical skill. I mean, come on. If you don't even know how to use Facebook, now that is going to be a little bit slow. Okay. I do not have any marketing education. My highest education is it's high school. During school days they don't teach you marketing, do they? Right? I don't go to like any college or university to learn about marketing. None of those. My first job, right, is a door-to-door salesman selling greeting cards. Right. And the reason is because I sort of flunk at high school and I'm not qualified for any quote unquote proper jobs. So all I can do is, go get greeting cards from a company and just walk around and sell the greeting cards, go door to door and sell greeting cards. It doesn't take you any qualification to do that. You just need to walk with cards and ask people if they want to buy cards. And last but not least, I live in a small island in Malaysia called Penang, right? I mean, usually you have to be in like New York, London, and so on to get exposure. But this is in like a small island in Malaysia called Penang. What kind of exposure do you think that you can get? So for me, right, if I'm 30 years old and I can I can afford a multi-million home, uh, that is interesting of what the internet can do, right? Or I would say, what can the past 10 years do? Where if we like what Tony Robbins says is that many people underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. Now, in 2015, I wasn't happy. The thing is that in 2015, I wasn't happy. So I achieved all of this, I made a pretty good sum of money, but I wasn't happy because suddenly I wasn't living the lifestyle that I wanted, which is freedom. Because it occurs to me that when I first started, is that I want to make some money. That's about it. And as time goes by, what I wanted to have is to make as much so-called automated income and have freedom to do things that I like. But I wasn't actually getting that anymore in 2015. In 2015, I have a so-called full-fledged operation with employees and everything else. And I can still remember this in 2015. I was in the office in the morning, like 9 a.m., right? I need to be in the office. Now, now I know I'm making a big deal out of this, but it is really a big deal for me that I do not want to go to office. I do not want to go to office at the time that I'm forced to be there for others, right? But I was there. I was there in the office because I need to quote unquote show face. I need to show to my employees, my staff that hey, the boss is also working. That kind of thing going on. You know what I mean? And my staff was in cubicles, and my staff were asking me questions. And then I realized that hey, you know what? This is not going as planned. I got to do something because this is not what I want. This is not the lifestyle. This is not what I signed up for on day one. I I was making money, but I wasn't happy because I have gone into quote unquote job again. And that was how Operation Zero Employees was born. It was created because I want to solve my own problem. So I was I was stressed. I was stressed on how I can get out from this whole thing that I've created. And I start asking myself questions. And as what Tony Robbins and even Robert Kiyosaki taught this is that if you ask powerful question, if you ask empowering question, you get good answers, right? If you ask stupid question, well, you get stupid answers. If you attract negative stuff, you get negative stuff. Pretty straightforward, right? If you try to take advantage of people, people will take advantage of you. Pretty straightforward stuff, right? If you give to people, people will give you back. If you show love, people will show you love. Sort of understand that. So I asked myself this question: how can I scale smaller and yet make more profit? So that was a question that I asked myself, and that's how I come up with Operation Zero Employees. And within 60 days, Fortunately, and I would say I'm blessed that I'm able to reduce the employees to zero. It's like I have a system. They are no longer my employees, and I'll teach you my system in this entire program, what I actually did with that. So, in short, in 60 days, no one is in the office anymore. In fact, when I'm doing this training right now, I'm actually in my office because I bought this office. But I don't want to rent it because I want to use it as and when I want to come in. But there are like no employees here. I come into office, I put on the music. It is like my own place for me right now, to do videos and whatever that I want. So in that 60 days, we are able to remove all of the employees. So um, it's how it is, right? So it was created to actually solve my problem. Now, the reason why I'm so passionate about this system, which I want to share with you, is also to create the right what we call ecosystem. You see, I'm an advocator. Like I'm teaching you this right now, is to be your own boss, right? And becoming an entrepreneur. Now, I was thinking that if I see this is where it conflicts with me internally. If I don't run Operation Zero Employees uh, um, operation, right? And I'm hiring people to work for me as an employees, doesn't that conflict with what I'm teaching? Doesn't that conflict with my message that I'm teaching you to be your own boss? I'm teaching you to start your own business. Yet, I am hiring employees and preventing them to become their own boss and becoming their own entrepreneurs. You see how conflicting that is. So I can't continue with it anymore. I gotta do something with it. So this is why I created this system. Now, don't get me wrong, there are other internet marketers who hire employees and so on, and that's totally all right. This is just how my model works, right? And with Operation Zero employees, it's actually beyond just about you. It's just it's not just about you having freedom, but it's helping others and empowering them to have their own freedom too. Later on, once you go to the module of operation, you start to see how Operation Zero employees is actually helping them to become their own bosses, helping them to become their own entrepreneurs, right? Because you help them to break away from being employees. And that's amazing. I'm telling you, that is a feeling that you can celebrate knowing that not only that you don't have to deal with employees, but you are actually helping other people to achieve more in life. Which leads to the next point is that it also help it is also to help employees not to become employees and inspire them to do something bigger. Now, this is what this model does. It helps them to break away from the employment chain. We empower them to be more successful. Now, you may be thinking, if they are more successful, why would they still help you? So I just want you to have this paradigm shift again. If you give enough value to them, they will still be in your team, right? If you've been to my seminars and so on, you will see like I have my team members and so on. Many of them are actually part of my team, and it's through Operation Zero Employees model. And the most interesting part is that what you did not know that many of them have their own side hustles and they make a lot of money in what I teach them, I train them to achieve. But they are still with me. They are loyal with me. They will not go to someone else and so on because I am happy for their success and I continue to give them value to be part of the team. Do you see where I'm coming from right now? Let me know in the comment box there. It's about having a paradigm shift. It's about thinking differently. I have this book called the Wealth Manifesto, where I talk about not thinking out of the box, because in today's time, there's no such thing as box anymore. There's no more cubicle. There's no thinking out of the box. But there's what we call I got tongue twisted. Contrarian thinking. I got to type that out later on, right? Basically, is that you need to think differently. You need to think at a different level in order for you to have a totally different solution. Yes, Moose, thanks for typing that. Contrarian thinking. Let me just go ahead and paste that. As I mentioned to you earlier, I'm not fluent with English, and I'm still not fluent with English today. You need to adapt to this contrarian thinking and not thinking out of the box. Thinking out of the box, it is so, year 2000, right? That doesn't really apply that much anymore today. So you need like a different level of thinking. So let's go to the next one, where I want to share with you the 3 rules of Operation Zero Employees Breakthrough. First rule of OZE Breakthrough, OZE stands for Operation Zero Employees, is the mindset shift. In order for us to apply the system, we got to have a mindset shift. Now, how does Operation Zero Employees actually work? The framework, it's focused on empowering others to become entrepreneurs. And through that framework, it allows you to have your own freedom. So, in a conventional way of mindset, is that how we can get others to work for us in order for us to grow bigger, right? But with Operation Zero Employees, the mindset shift here is how you can grow bigger together with them instead of them so-called contributing to one way for your success. The next rule, the second rule of OZE Breakthrough, it is this. It is not about the products when it comes to Operation Zero Employees. It's about having a system for Operation Zero Employees success. So you could be using this system, you could be using this blueprint, even you have no products whatsoever. And it's okay, because when you complete the entire training, you understand about building your brand, about campaign and everything else, that a product is just a quote unquote product for you to get your offer monetized, right? It is like a vehicle. It is not the ultimate thing that helps you to achieve success. When it comes to the system, right, it has 3 core components. The first component is operation, how you operate the business. This has internal operation and external operation. Component number 2, automation. What are the moving parts in your business based on Operation Zero Employees model can be automated or must be automated? And the last point, component number 3, is called campaign. How do you launch campaign to sell? How do you launch campaign to generate profit windfall? How do you launch campaign to generate what we call evergreen businesses? So in the future modules and so on, we will have like one module specifically on just operation. Then we have one module specifically for automation, and then one module for campaign. So the third rule of OZE Breakthrough is understanding the 3 types of income. So when you're building your Operation Zero Employees business based on this model, you must be focusing on these 3 types of income, so that so that you build a business that's sustainable. So there are 3 types of income that I shared in my book called Wake Up Millionaire, which becomes my foundation for everything that I do when it comes to generating income, so to speak. The first one is income today. Income today is about making money for today, right now. So this is what we can call it as active income. So with Operation Zero Employees, you will be launching campaigns to make money for today, like you need to spend right now. And then we have income tomorrow. income tomorrow will be doing something, creating systems, creating campaigns to generate the income that will come in tomorrow. Now, when I use tomorrow, I'm not technically saying that it has to be tomorrow, right? What I'm saying here, tomorrow means it could be like next 6 months. So, like for instance, you could promote, say, a membership. So this membership could generate income for you for the next 6 months. Like for my own model inside Operation Zero Employees, my income tomorrow, I don't promote membership, so to speak, but I promote network marketing business because that generate passive income for me. That is not going to generate me like millions and so on, but actually it did generate that. But my point is that is focused, like the hard work that I do today is to generate the income for tomorrow. That becomes my passive income. And then we have the income millionaire. So income millionaire in the context of Operation Zero Employees, it's all about building asset. And the asset here is building your database and building your brand. So when you operate with Operation Zero Employees, you are balancing these three types of incomes. All right, so I'm going to after this right now I'm going to go to the next so-called session to cover for today's training. Now, so far, let me know some of the feedbacks that you have, any question that you have, because I'm going to take a sip of water, like for 60 seconds break. And if you have learned any good stuff right now, do let me know in the comment as well. All right, so Danny asked, can OZE apply to MLM? Yes, the concept still applies. It is not exactly for MLM. You apply the modules that are practical for an MLM business. But if you're into MLM, later on I'll be launching Recruit Empire. That's going to be training specifically for using digital marketing to build a network marketing business. Because I apply my digital marketing strategies for the network marketing business I built called Jeunesse. And in the first year itself, I become like the top fourth enroller for the entire company, competing with like 500,000 other distributors. And since like the first year, I've been getting like the most consistent award. And this is like Jeunesse. This is not like some local small company. If you just Google Jeunesse, you will know how big is Jeunesse. It's like the fastest growing network marketing company. It's Inc. 500 company in US. It's pretty big. It's very big to be more precise. So I'll be creating Recruit Empire to share how, I use social media, digital marketing to build my Jeunesse business. So Moose, how do we build three incomes and balance the activities to achieve it? That's a very good question. I'm very excited to share this with you because it's not how you balance it. It's about building a system and choosing what kind of offer that will support your income streams. I'm trying to find a way how to simplify it, right? Once you go through the training, I will be sharing with you, like, how you should be balancing what you should be promoting and so on.